Wolverine.
Shut up and take my money!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another video related to Marvel's Wolverine. Finally, we got some updates on this. Yes, all the YouTubers that milked the hype finally got what they wanted. I know I'm a day late on covering this, but family stuff, it happens. Because we did finally get a brand new trailer at the most recent State of Play, so I wanted to talk about whether this game will live up to the hype, or will this get the Marvel Spider-Man 2 treatment of being a very hyped up game, but eventually falling flat due to setbacks or problems. And considering the troubled history of development for this game, I actually am incredibly worried, validly, just as I am excited for this game, because I'm incredibly worried, but I'm also incredibly excited. Now, honestly, when it comes to the brutality and the visceralness of the gameplay, it looks amazing. It has that Ninja Gaiden / X-Men Origins Wolverine style of combat, where it's very brutal and it's very vicious, and it's completely different than Marvel Spider-Man, where you're cutting guys' limbs off, sticking your claws through their heads, you're just moving around very viciously, and I really love all of that. The only thing that I could kind of see as a complaint is that the combat could get very stale very quickly, because all you're doing is cutting through and there's probably not much combo variety, and I'm really hoping that there are different ways that you can do different combos, because Insomniac themselves have said that they are basing some elements of Wolverine's combat off of 2018's God of War, and I love that game, but the one complaint that God of War 2018 did have is sometimes the combat, as brutal and as great as it was, got old relatively quickly, because you're repeating the same process over and over again, just hacking away at enemies with not a lot of combo potential. So I'm hoping that Wolverine could take from that, but also learn from it to give more experimentation and actually a lot more lean room than 2018's God of War did. You can actually give him some of the combos from Marvel Spider-Man, but done a little bit more differently. Wolverine's not an acrobat, but I could see him jumping off of a wall and then launching and clawing through somebody, or maybe some other various stuff. Now, another thing that I am worried about is the story itself. Let me explain, because I want this to make sense. I actually think the story is going to be amazing, but my issue is that will it have the same problem that Marvel Spider-Man 2 did with cuts? And I say that for a multitude of reasons, not just because of the leaks, but also because of what they did when it came to Marvel Spider-Man 2. They literally cut out a lot of story content, get the game out quicker than it needed to be, and also not just because of how anticipated it was by fans, but also because of the budget. Like Marvel Spider-Man 2, there's a lot of built-up hype around this game, and I don't want them to rush it out like they did with Marvel Spider-Man 2, like cutting down story elements and giving us a half-baked game. Not only that, but because of the leaks, they could have cut out a lot of things story-wise that we wouldn't even know about. That leads me into a lot of my issues, where if this game is going to have cuts, or will they keep it the exact same despite the leaks? And looking at the trailer, there is a mixture of a bit of that, because we cannot pretend that those leaks didn't happen. So certain sequences that we have had leaked, like the Princess Bar and other various stuff, are pretty much confirmed. Even Omega Red, one of the villains that was shown in the trailer, which looks amazing, the concept art for him actually got leaked. Hell, we even see it in the behind the scenes trailer for Wolverine, and that is where my issues lie. Will the story actually have changes and tweaks to it because of the leaks, or will they just be the exact same? And that's where I have issues, is that because of the leaks, we already know some of the characters and some of the ideas that they're going to implement into the game, and we certainly can't pretend that that didn't happen. So how are they going to actually work within those confines? Are they going to cut, or are they going to keep the same? It's not impossible, because Insomniac is an amazing studio, but we can't act like it's not going to be a hindrance for them. Hell, even the Marvel Spider-Man games did have their problems. I know I've harped about 2, but even Marvel Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales had their issues. While Marvel Spider-Man 1 had its pacing problems, it had an amazing story. While the gameplay was amazing, it was kind of bare bones, and the boss fights were very lacking. Miles Morales had a very good story, not a great one, but it improved on the gameplay and a little bit on the boss fights. Reuse of the map outside of it being wintertime was very annoying. It did improve on its gameplay, and it did kind of have better side mission variety than its predecessor. there. And Marvel Spider-Man 2 obviously had its story problems, but it did slightly improve on the web slinging, the map, and also the gameplay, and also the boss fights. You're probably wondering how a completely separate character in the Insomniac's universe relates to Wolverine. Why even bring it up? And that is because when you look at Wolverine's first outing, it can learn from those games' experiences and where it can do better on its first go around. The hindsight of how it can improve in its own right, where those games struggled in certain regards of combat, certain elements of story, and boss fights, this game could actually go and knock that all out of the gate on the first go around. That's why this game could probably be better than the Marvel Spider-Man franchise, because it can learn from those games' mistakes. And this game could probably live up to the hype, or it couldn't. It depends on whether it'll be dragged down from the fundamental issues that it had in production. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, whether you agree or disagree. Make sure to like this video if you did enjoy, or change it to a dislike if you didn't, and hit the subscribe button if you are new to this channel. Have a good rest of your guys' night, morning, afternoon, whatever it is for you in the world. Peace out. Bye-bye.